Imagine a scenario where the very foundations of trust and commitment are crumbling beneath your feet. What if the person you thought you knew, the one who pledged their life to another, is harboring a secret desire for you? This isn't a thriller movie plot. This is the unsettling reality many men face when they find themselves the object of a married woman's hidden affection. Are you ready to look behind the curtain of conventional relationships and explore the unsettling signs that a married woman might be pursuing you? Because what you're about to learn could change everything, and not in a good way for some of you. This isn't just about casual flirting. It's a deep dive into the complex and sometimes dangerous world of extramarital desire. Stay with me because the truth is never simple, and the consequences can be devastating. This is a story that needs to be told, and you need to hear it. But remember, by understanding these signs, you arm yourself with knowledge. You're not here to chase after another's spouse, understand? Chapter 1. The Unseen Invitations. Signs 1 and 2. We're diving into the covert world of a married woman's desires, a place where secret signals replace open declarations. First, consider this. Is she making a conscious effort to exclude others when she spends time with you? You are the constant. Do you always find yourselves alone while other friends are ignored or pushed to the side? This isn't about coincidence. It's a deliberate move. When a married woman starts to harbor feelings, she seeks private moments, an escape from the constant watch of her usual social circle. This desire stems from an internal need for a personal connection, one that she cannot fulfill with her spouse. It's an attempt to create an insular world where it's just the two of you, a silent invitation into something more. Perhaps she is afraid that others in her circle will discover her feelings for you, leading to social repercussions. This fear, however, fuels the private meetings even more. Then, consider the constant complaints about her husband. If a married woman repeatedly paints her spouse as the villain, constantly lamenting the lack of love or understanding, this is not a casual gripe. It is a deliberate act to gain your sympathy and, by extension, your attention. She may even subtly praise you, comparing your qualities to her husband's, emphasizing what he lacks. Subconsciously, she's trying to get you to think of yourself as a suitable replacement. It's a way to make you think that there is something between you. It's a subtle but significant hint that her heart is pulling her away from her marriage and directly towards you. These aren't accidental actions. They are calculated steps in a subtle dance of desire. This pattern reveals an underlying urge to break free from a relationship that has lost its spark. It may also serve as a cry for help, or a way to test the waters of your reaction, assessing if you would reciprocate her feelings. Chapter 2. The Silent Test and the Constant Reminders. Signs 3 and 4. Let's go deeper into her psychology. Have you noticed she turns into a silent observer when you talk about other women? This isn't simple disinterest. It's a profound emotional reaction. Telling her about your interest in another woman is a silent test, a way to measure the depth of her emotions for you. If a married woman is romantically interested, your mention of another woman sends waves of fear, jealousy, and insecurity through her. Her silence is a scream, a way to show displeasure without directly admitting her feelings. The sudden withdrawal, the absence of normal responses are very telling. She may feel fear that another woman is taking her place in your affection. She wants to be the center of your world. The anxiety is eating her up inside. She becomes silent, a visible response to invisible emotions. Adding on this emotional complexity, have you noticed if a married woman has the tendency to say something or someone reminds me of you? It's not a coincidence or just a passing thought. Psychology reveals that our minds often create these links when we think of a person constantly, especially if we miss them. It's a subconscious action. When a married woman begins to see you everywhere, when you are the pattern in her world, it indicates a powerful obsession. The desire to connect with you is so strong that she starts to see reminders of you everywhere. Her mind is constantly occupied with thoughts of you, to such an extent that the world around her begins to resemble you. The more she misses you, the more these reminders manifest themselves. This isn't casual thinking. It's a subconscious declaration of her intense romantic preoccupation with you. She is not only thinking about you, but she is thinking about you intensely. You are on her mind almost non-stop. It's a deep, unspoken language of her heart. Chapter 3. The physical speaks in the unspoken claim, signs 5 and 6. Now let's move to the physical realm. Have you seen her blush when you appear? This involuntary reaction is a powerful sign, as blushing is something we cannot consciously control. It reveals the emotional undercurrents that she can't keep hidden. It happens when we experience strong emotions. If a woman's cheeks flush when she sees you or looks at you, that is a physiological manifestation of a deep desire for you. It is a physical reaction that her body betrays, revealing the intense emotions she's trying to keep buried. Consider it an undeniable sign that you are impacting her on more than just a superficial level. Now, consider another sign: the indirect gestures of possessiveness. A married woman will use indirect means to show that you are hers. If she wasn't married, she would claim you directly to the world. But because of the constraints of her situation, she resorts to indirectness. She subtly positions you as her person, using these cues to both herself and others that you are unavailable. She might ensure she is always within your sight, making it clear she's available and accessible. She might echo everything you say, signaling that you are two halves of a whole. She might even say she would love to have a husband just like you, or use other subtle, indirect language. These are all signals of her desire to possess you and her fantasy of being with you, even though it is not possible. She sees you as hers in her heart, and she wants the rest of the world to perceive you that way too. These gestures go beyond a casual friendship. They reveal an underlying desire to claim you, even if only subtly and indirectly. Chapter 4. The web of lies and the need to please, signs 7 and 8. The web of deception is a sign of the hidden affair. Is she hiding your existence from her husband? Does she go out of her way to avoid telling him she is with you, or invent some other story? If she's lying to her husband about seeing you, it is a strong indicator that her feelings are more than platonic. The constant lies are not just about hiding the truth. They are about protecting her feelings for you. They represent a desire to nurture the connection without getting caught. These lies are a way to manage a complex situation, to keep both her marriage and her emerging feelings for you. They also indicate that she feels guilt, but she is unable to stop. She might be trying to manage the moral conflict between her commitment to her husband and the pull towards you. But the very act of lying means she is not just considering you a friend anymore. And what about the extraordinary effort she makes to keep you happy? If she goes above and beyond to make you happy, to make your special occasions even more special, and avoids anything that could possibly upset you, she is demonstrating a need to be in your good graces. This behavior is a clear sign that she is deeply invested in your feelings. When someone has intimate knowledge of another's likes and dislikes, they tend to go above and beyond to keep the other person happy. Therefore, if a married woman constantly goes out of her way to make sure you are content, it's a strong sign she is developing romantic feelings for you. It reveals her intense desire to nurture a positive connection with you, to become the center of your world. Chapter 5. The late night calls and the romantic boundaries, signs 9 and 10. The late night calls are more than casual conversation. Does she often call you when her husband is asleep, or perhaps text you early in the morning? These signals signify a deep need to communicate with you when she feels she is out of the watchful eye of her husband. The fact that she chooses these specific times means she is seeking a connection that is out of the bounds of her marriage, and the late hour is used to minimize the risk of her husband finding out. The choice of the time itself indicates a desire to share intimate moments with you without any fear of her husband discovering them. The last sign we'll discuss are the blurred romantic boundaries. Is she not stopping the romantic conversations? If she was not interested in you romantically at all, she would shut down any flirtatious or romantic advances immediately. She would establish a firm boundary. Women have very clear boundaries between friendships and potential romantic partners, and a married woman knows this all too well. She knows she must protect herself from misunderstandings from her husband's perspective, so she would firmly stop any romantic conversation. So, when a married woman does not stop things when you are romantic, then she is probably interested in you. If she blushes but doesn't stop the flirting, then the red flag is waving in front of you. She is opening herself up to something more, signaling that her heart is pulling her in a direction away from her marriage and towards you. She's not trying to protect her marriage because she does not see it as something to protect. She is allowing the romantic current to pull her along because she wants to be taken by the tide. Unexpected twist. But what if all of this wasn't about you at all? What if this married woman is actually using you as a pawn? What if these signs were all a calculated strategy to escape her own marriage and get revenge? What if she knew from the beginning that she could use your attraction to fulfill a larger agenda, and the only one who would be hurt is you? Perhaps her interest in you has nothing to do with her love for you, and everything to do with something else. Or maybe there is something about you she needs. Maybe you will never find out what she really feels. Sometimes the most dangerous game is the one you never realized you were playing. And as you can see, the signs were there all along. Otro call to action. So there you have it. 10 signs that a married woman might be falling for you. As you can see, navigating these situations is never simple, and the risks are significant. The path of extramarital relationships is wrought with deceit and danger. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Remember that these signs are to protect you, not to guide you to a place of harm and deceit. Remember that at the end, we will be making our final conclusions about this topic. Thank you for watching, and always remember to be aware of the signs around you. Final conclusions revealed at the end. We have analyzed the signs. We understand the emotional mechanisms behind a married woman's desire for another man. We also realize the dangerous and complex situations involved in these scenarios. It is clear that these situations are highly charged, with the potential for both emotional and social damage. A careful approach and an understanding of all the subtle signals is necessary. It's about safeguarding yourself and knowing that the grass isn't always greener. And as you have seen in our story, not everything is as it seems. Now use these lessons wisely and be careful in your interactions.